Welcome to Connected and Respected.
Welcome to Connected and Respected. Today, we're going to talk about stereotypes. Can everybody say stereotypes?
Stereotype.
Yeah. Our first thing we're going to do is our opening circle, where we talk about a different emotion. Today, our emotion is gratitude. So we're going to say one thing that we're grateful for. Something beautiful we saw, or something that happened that we really enjoyed, or something we noticed that uplifted our spirits. Okay? So I'll start and then we'll pass the buzz, and pass the buzz, and pass the buzz. Okay? I am grateful for all the flowers that are blooming right now. It makes me happy to see how beautiful they are.
I'm thankful for seeing pretty days like today.
I'm grateful for when we're outside, like going on for a walk when it's nighttime, because we can be quiet so we can hear the bugs chirping.
Thank you for joining in our circle. Our next activity is a warm-up called Cooper Says. It's really like Simon Says, but it's nobody gets out. It's about cooperating and working together. All right? So
Oh,
Cooper
that's
says, touch your nose. Cooper says, touch your chin. Cooper says, touch your head. Cooper says, touch your shoulders. Cooper says, touch your belly. Cooper says, touch your knees. Cooper says, touch your shoulders. Cooper says, touch your nose, touch your ears. Oops. But you know what? We were all cooperating. We were all doing the same thing for the same purpose. That's what cooperation is. Okay, so today our lesson is about stereotypes, and I'm going to read you the agenda check about our lesson. Okay? So we have been learning about getting along with each other and solving conflicts. Conflicts often develop when things are not fair. For example, when people are not allowed to do something or are made fun of just because of who they are and which group they belong to, that's unfair. Today, we're going to talk about groups we belong to, and then we're going to look at some things that are said about girls and boys. Then we'll talk about what we learned today and do a closing. So, our first thing is about groups. So, all of us belong to a lot of different groups. Our families are one important group that we belong to. And can we think of another group that you belong to? Maybe a group that some people belong to and other people don't? Yes?
The skin.
Groups of skin color.
But
We
you
all
shouldn't
belong.
judge someone by the color of their skin.
Mhm. What's another group you could belong to? What's another group you can belong to? For example, you go to a school, right?
People who are learning. Wait,
Oh, so there's grade levels at schools, huh? So
I
you
just said
might
it in
belong to a grade that other people don't belong to. Huh?
like kindergarten, first and second.
What's another group that people belong to? You were saying,
like people like who have light clothes on go in light group, and people who have dark clothes on go in dark.
so they might have different groups based on their fashion. So we talked about grades at your school. There's kindergarten, first, and second. What other kind of groups do you have at your school? Yes. There's different languages, yeah?
Cultures.
Yeah. So at your school, there's different languages that people speak, right?
There's like French and then Spanish.
So let's see, we talked about skin, race, grade, languages, classes. What about other groups? Let's think. In our family, there's like grandmas, and there's aunts and uncles, and then there's
Kids.
cousins, right? Or those different groups?
Adults,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
kids,
uh-huh. So what are those
and
groups?
babies.
Yeah. So
Different
babies.
family groups.
Yeah, so there's different family groups. And there's
Babies
different.
are the first level.
Yeah, so that's a different group by the age of people, huh? Right? Hmm.
Like 1 all the way to 109.
Can you think of clubs that people are part of, or sports that people are part of that are different groups? Yes.
Science clubs, like you're in different science clubs where you do different clubs making different kinds of volcanoes.
Okay.
Chess club, science club.
There's chess clubs. What kind of sports are there?
There's football. I can name like
That might be a group, right? A football
4.
team might do different activities than the chess team, right?
way different. Chess groups only play chess, and then
Mhm.
football only play football.
Do you think there's some people that play chess and football?
Yeah.
It's possible.
So there's like
4,000.
different ages and families and languages and groups, right? There's also people that believe different things about God, right? And they are in different groups too, right? There's all kinds of different groups in the world.
Oh, and people who celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, some people celebrate holidays different, huh?
And some people
Like Easter.
There's different things about holidays and religions and languages. So there's all kinds of different groups of people in the world, right? And one of them that we're going to talk about some more is about our gender. So boys and girls. So let's think about this some more, okay? So there's some things that people say that boys can do, and there's
Then some
things,
other
things
people
that say that girls can do.
only do.
Yeah, so what are some
Like
things?
Sometimes Olivia says only girls can like pink.
Yeah.
Then sometimes I say only boys can like red.
Okay. Can you think of a
That can
different
be
example?
in the color.
Oh, okay, so boys would be
Red.
red and girls would be
Pink.
pink. Okay, what are some other things that people say that girls can or can't do, or boys can or can't do? Yes.
boys and girls can learn how to do handstands, but you need to be really strong.
Oh, so it doesn't matter which one you're part of, you can do handstands. Yeah? So both, and everybody can do handstands? Okay. All right, what are some other things that people say about boys and what boys can do and what girls can do?
Like they say, girls only shorts are only for boys, and skirts are only for girls.
Oh, so for like clothes.
Skirt, and then shorts.
What are some other things?
Gross.
Well, I want you to think about it too. Here's some examples I put up to help us think. But you can think of something, or can you think of things that people say at school and they're like, well, only boys can do this, or only girls can do this, or
One day, my friend Dalton, he's a boy. He told me only boys can play with guns.
Have you heard anybody say something that boys can do or girls can do at school?
Like, only boys can play basketball.
Are there any games that people say girls can play and boys can't?
Only, they say only girls can play hockey.
Can you think of any, Marcus, games that people say, oh, that's a boy game or that's a girl game?
Football.
Football. Is football, people say it's usually girls or boys? Boys.
And that's true. There's not a lot of games about girls on the news. I haven't seen a lot. That's because I've never seen it.
Well, let's think about these things. So we hear these messages from the news, right? And what we see on the news. And we hear these messages from our friends at school, right? And the people around us. Yeah, well, what do you think about it? How does it feel when someone says, only girls can do this, or only boys can do this? How does it feel? Yeah. Disappointing. What would you say? How does it feel when you want to do something and people say, only girls can do that? Or you have to do it this way because that's what boys do?
Well, I'll say football is always the same. Because whenever I watch, like, say if you would compare flag football to regular football, it's not that different, only with flags.
So can you think of a situation where you really wanted to do something, but then you didn't do it a certain way because you were like, oh, well, you thought maybe you were supposed to do something differently because you're a boy or girl? Can you think of something?
Usually in my class, we always play the same game, so I didn't put one of the things that I heard at school because we're usually all friends.
Let's think about this. Statements about all boys are like this way and all girls are like this way are kind of like the word stereotype, okay? And stereotype means that you group, just because of someone's in a part of a group, then you say they have to be a certain way, right? Because are there girls who like the color red?
Yes.
So is it true that only boys can like the color red and girls can't like the color red?
No.
What about the color pink?
They can like it too.
They can like it too?
Sometimes I feel like I want to use a pink crayon.
Yeah, he does it for me when he makes hearts for me.
I also use it to make some flowers because flowers come pink.
Yeah.
So let's think of another stereotype y'all thought of, okay? What about sports? Is it true that only boys can play football?
No.
No, because Marcus talked about he's seen teams of girls and boys playing football.
Because one time, Mommy, Miss Rachel told us there was a girl who was kicking for football.
Yeah, and there's a famous football coach who's a girl. Yeah, like professional. Yeah.
You play professional.
What about basketball? Is basketball only for boys?
No.
There's whole girl teams, right? Yeah. So
I
is that
even
true
see
or
it.
is it a stereotype?
Stereotype.
Because it's not true for everybody, huh? Yeah. Let's erase that one. What about hockey? Is hockey just for girls?
No.
Are there some boys that play hockey?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of some games that people usually say are for girls that boys do too?
Tennis.
Tennis?
Tennis is a good example.
Tennis is for both boys and girls. What about jump rope?
I do jump rope.
Yeah.
I'm very good.
You know what's true? Is like I see a lot of little girls at the school where I work. I see a lot of little girls playing with jump rope. And then one day I went to the boxing gym and all these boys were playing jump rope at the boxing gym. Huh. So is that true for everybody or is it a stereotype? Stereotype. And then even things like clothes, right?
Yeah.
So I heard you say that shorts were for boys, but do girls wear shorts too?
Yeah.
Sometimes girls wear shorts.
I never seen a boy wear skirt.
But long time ago, boys had to.
Yeah. So in different cultures, people wear different things, right? So are there boys that wear skirts?
Yes.
Yeah,
And there's boys that wear dresses.
yeah. It's true. If you go to Bali or you go to Scotland, right?
Yeah, boys are wearing skirts everywhere.
And I'm going to tell you some statements, and you say stereotype or not stereotype, okay?
Okay.
So, what if I said only adults can make art? Would you say that's a stereotype?
Stereo.
Because there's some kids that make art too, right?
Because I make a lot of art.
There you go. What if I said only boys can like watermelon?
Stereo.
What if I said only grandmas can ride bicycles?
A stereo.
Stereotype? Yeah? So now what would you say stereotypes are?
Everyone do.
A stereotype is when
False.
it's a false belief that people that are parts of different groups have to be a certain way. And it says everybody in that group is the same, right? Because are all girls the same?
No.
Some girls like to play basketball, right? And some don't. And some boys like to play basketball and some don't, right? So is it true that all boys have to play basketball?
No.
Is it true that all girls can't play basketball?
No.
That's not true, right? But that's a message that happens, or a stereotype that happens in the world. But we have to check and see, is that true, right? Yeah. How does it make people feel when we put them in a stereotype and say, you can't do that because of who you are?
Disappointed.
Disappointed? What do you think?
Wait, what's the question?
How do people feel when people make a stereotype about them? Say, oh, well, because you're a boy, or because you're in kindergarten.
Shame.
Yeah. What kind of things do people say about people based on their age or their grade?
You're too little to go to second grade.
See? How do people feel about that? Yeah, people wouldn't feel good if we said because of their age or because of their size or the group they belong to or their boys or girls that they couldn't do something that they were excited about doing.
Like,
Yeah.
say if I was really interested into science class, and then someone said, "You're too little for science," and then I automatically went.
Yeah.
For
It
real,
wouldn't
that
feel
was
good.
truth.
Yeah. So, we all belong to a lot of different groups. Sometimes people think something is true for everybody in a certain group. That's called a stereotype. One stereotype is that all good basketball players are tall. If I were choosing a basketball team and only chose the tallest kids, would that be fair?
No.
No.
No. What if the best player was short and fast? Yeah. How would that person feel?
Sad.
How would that affect our team?
Not winner.
Yeah, not only would it affect the short person because they wouldn't get to play, but the whole team wouldn't do as well because they had excluded somebody, right? Do you remember how we've talked about exclusion and inclusion?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to close our lesson with a big inclusion hug because when we include people, it feels nice. All right, can you turn around and say thank everybody for joining us?
Thank you for joining us.
us.